Okay, welcome to my Renault powered Formula One car collection. My first car is from 1993 and it's a Williams FW15C. This was an extremely successful car. It had the 3.5 litre V10 Renault engine and it was driven by Alain Prost to win the World Championship that year, and Damon Hill as well. It also won the Constructors' Championship and was renowned for having the most powerful engine that season. It's also, in my opinion, one of the best looking F1 cars of all time. Absolutely iconic. Moving on to the next Renault powered car. This is also a Williams. This is the FW19 from 1997. Also a championship winning car in the hands of Jacques Villeneuve. It had a V10, same as 1993, but completely different engine. This was only 3 litre, whereas the previous one was 3.5, as I've said already. But yes, an extremely powerful engine and effective chassis. This is the first actual Renault Formula One car. So this is from the 2002 season. It's the Renault R202. This had a V10, but with a different V-angle to previous engine. Not successful this season, but similar car in the hands of Fernando Alonso. Won Drivers' World Championships in 2005 and 2006. The car had a very similar livery to this one. Again, I think this is a really good looking car. Moving on to the Lotus Renault from 2011, the R31. This had a new era of engine. So this had the 2.4 litre V8 engine. It wasn't overly successful. It kind of a strong midfield car, but yeah, it brought back the iconic black and gold Lotus livery from the 1970s and early 80s. And also using a very similar engine was this Williams from 2012. So this is the FW34. Not amazingly successful, certainly not as successful as some of the previous cars, but it did win a Grand Prix in the hands of Pastor Maldonado, and again a nice looking car in my opinion. Okay, back to winning ways with this Renault powered car. This is of course the 2013 Red Bull RB9. So this was driven by Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber. It was Sebastian Vettel's 4th World Championship winning car, and at this point Red Bull had a really strong relationship with Renault. The V8 engine was probably the second most powerful at this point, but sadly the relationship between Red Bull and Renault deteriorated a lot in subsequent years, and of course Red Bull switched to Honda, who they're still with, well, effectively still with today. Okay, this is one of my favourite looking Formula One cars of all time, the Toro Rosso from 2017, the STR12. This had a Renault engine, although it wasn't branded Renault, it was branded Toro Rosso, so they were a customer. It was a year when Helmut Marko was really experimenting with drivers, as he seems about to do again. So it was driven by Pierre Gasly, Brendan Hartley, although of course he didn't last long, Daniel Kvyat, and also Carlos Sainz, who is of course still around today with Ferrari. And my final Renault powered Formula One car, back to an actual proper Renault. This is the RS18 from the 2018 season. So this was again a strong midfield car. didn't threaten for the championship. It was driven by Nico Hülkenberg, who I'm really pleased is back in Formula One with Haas again this year, and also driven by Carlos Sainz. So Sainz has certainly got around, starting with Toro Rosso, then Renault, then McLaren, and of course now with Ferrari. This again is a really good looking F1 car. In fact, all of these Renault cars have that in common. They're all really good looking and iconic liveries. And how many? 1, 2, 3 of them are World Championship winning cars. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed looking at my Renault powered cars. I'll be doing subsequent videos with other engine manufacturers. Let me know if there's any particular ones you want next. I'll see what I can do.